Alright, Lakin's gonna explain how she did the bell ringer. Let's pay close attention in case anyone made any mistakes. Alright, Lakin, go ahead.
So this angle and this angle are congruent, and they also have to equal this angle, and I know that this angle is 150, and so I did 150 divided by 2, and they got 75, and I just did 180 minus 150 to get this angle, which is 30.
Thank you. Bailey, tell us, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Yeah, very good. So, this is one of your questions on your test, and a lot of people miss this one. One of the things they did was, it says angle HMN is 150, and so they made this inside angle here, the vertex angle 150. A way to know that that's wrong, 150 is an obtuse angle, and this angle is acute. So, looking at that, you should be able to see right away that that angle is not going to be 150 degrees. And another way to know which angle they're talking about, HMN, you start at H, go to M, and then go to N. And so that's this angle here that's 150. And these two make a linear pair, so that one's 30. And then so 180 minus 30 is 150, so these two have to add up to 150. And they're the same, they're congruent, because these two sides are congruent. So you just do 150 divided by 2, which is 75. Okay. All right, what questions do you have on the bell ringer? All right, you can put your bell ringer away.
What number is this on our notes?
31.
If we could have like a 90 on this, so we have to take it again, or just like
That's whatever grade you made on the second test is your grade.
31?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it should be 31. Yes.
So I need to cover it from the week.
I understand
Yeah.
that
I
somewhere.
Alright, so if I have your attention, please, I gave you a piece of paper that told you what your pre-assessment score was, what your goal was, and what you made on your test and whether or not you met your goal. Okay, so you're going to use that to fill out your data folder. And you need to, on the front page, the tracking progress page, you should be on unit 6. You need to fill out your pre-assessment score. Remember, it should be red. Everybody's is red because it's below 60. Your goal would be orange, and then hopefully your actual post-assessment's green. It's either red, orange, or green. 0 to 59 is red, 60 to 79 is orange, 80 and above is green. After you finish filling out your tracking progress, then you need to fill out your test reflection. If you did not meet your goal, you are required to take the retake. If you did meet your goal, it's up to you. You have until Wednesday to come in and do the test retake, and in order to do the test retake, you have to go to at least one tutoring session, and you have to do the test corrections, and you have to have all those quizzes, assignments completed that I posted last Thursday for the test, to practice for the test, if you want to do the test retake. All right, so you can go ahead and get your colored pencils. Also, I gave you your progress report so that way you can see your third quarter grade. And if you have to take the test retake, you also have to complete any missing assignments. So you can look on your progress report to see what your missing assignments are. Yes, ma'am.
For the pre-assessment, we just did 0, right?
No, I gave you your pre-assessment score on there, what you made.
I fill it up 20, that's right.
Yep, I wrote everything on your paper. Remember, everybody has to turn in a test reflection, no matter if you're taking the test or not. And even if you do not get your parent's signature, you still have to turn this in tomorrow or the day you're doing your test retake by Wednesday. If you get your parent's signature, it'll be 3 bonus points added to your test. Well, it'll be 3 bonus points. Grades are due today, so I'll just add the 3 bonus points into your grade book it'll have to be for 4th quarter.
What do you do, unit 2?
We did, but we didn't do a test analysis over it.
That's in orange. No wonder it's not colored.
Oh.
That piece of paper has your pre-assessment score, it has your goal, it has your post-test score, and then it even has whether or not you met your goal.
What am I supposed to do?
I just after you, well, you really don't have time because grades are due today, so. But you can still fill it out, so, and get your parents to sign it, so that way you can, get 3 bonus points.
So I just give them the sign.
And then whenever you fill it out, you'll get your 3 bonus points.
Can we sign the report card?
No, that's just for you to see what your 3rd quarter grade is, and so in case you're doing the test retake, you can see, what missing assignments you have.
So I made a 14 on the pre-assessment, that's right?
Yes, 14%. Also, those of you that turned your notes in on Friday, all of my graded papers are in a tote, and I ran off and left them in at my house Friday, or this morning. So I have your notes, they're just in a tote in my apartment, and I'll bring them tomorrow. And I will probably actually go and make copies of my notes and hand them to you. Yeah, whenever you're finished with your data folder, you can go ahead and put it up. Then you need to fill out your test reflection. And I'm gonna go real quick and make copies of my notes to give to y'all that already turned yours in, so you can have a set of notes. Once you use that to fill out your data folder, you don't have to keep it.
What was the test day?
Which one of these is that?
The 5th.
I did the review.
It's the bell ringer for March the 1st. That's last week's bell ringer.
This one.
Yeah, so you'll staple it to the paper that says turning your bell ringer. Pretty much Fridays. Which I think is this month, I forgot to put that on there. So you can staple it to this page, and then I will tear off the notes. Alright, so I'm gonna make copies of this and I will be right back. You need to be filling out your test reflection.
I got my goal, so. I don't know.
Good.
That's when you.
Well, this was the second one, right?
You want something?
Wait, what'd you say?
Hey, Maddie, there's this guy cut off.
Sydney, you know, what day did we take the first test?
The little one?
It was Wednesday, so it
The
would
second
have,
one's gonna be when I
so
do.
that was the 3rd.
Cut off both off, just like 8 seconds.
Going to 2.
There's
You
something
didn't
I get
have to retake the
things
test,
up
you
there.
just set them.
I'm not.
No, they're only
researching.
here.
You're an idiot. What's
Three
it? What?
days.
Why do I have 2 of these? You have pictures here?
Yeah, I
Where's
have
my
one.
paper?
Those are the first pages of my journal.
Does this not say?
No, there's not much there.
Why? That's not true.
Are you retaking
We
it?
did a 10 on, the 5th. Yeah, on Friday we did.
Yeah.
I don't think he counted.
Are you on the test reflection side or the requested test?
I'm on the test reflection.
Okay. That's what I did too. I was
You
like,
did a 5th, because the pre, that's.
Okay, so this is what we're doing now.
I had a 99 in
You
here.
notice about the test?
I had a 99 in this first class because I made an 85 on it right after the 94.
I had a 96, now I have 91.
I'm so stupid.
I had a 97, now I'm 95.
Shut up.
I had a 102.
Hey, what do you have now?
Like that,
You don't have a put in here? Yeah, you don't have a put in here?
On CIS though, it says like 102.
Yeah. What?
This is the bonus.
I'm literally gonna have to be a junior again next year.
That's,
Just gotta face it now.
that's the only way you describe it right now. I'm not kidding.
That's passing. So C's make degrees. What are D's make?
These make degrees.
D's that your parents are on your butt. Last time my grandma said that she was smart.
Alright, so I'm going to give you a copy of the notes. You're gonna still need to watch the video and take notes, and make sure you either have the volume on or the subtitle on, because,
The notes.
no, you're doing an assignment. So you're going, that way you'll hear the explanations, because in this chapter, there's really not a lot of math. It's all, you have to explain stuff, so you're gonna wanna hear explanations. Alright, is there anyone else that turned in their notes on Friday? Alright, let's go ahead and close our Chromebooks, put your test reflection away, and get out 7.1 notes. Those of you that turned it in Friday, I gave you my set of notes.
Can we get our thing done?
What's the test that the juniors are taking?
The ASVAB,
I'm still doing.
ASVAB. ASVAB.
What's it for?
Doesn't it last like
It's
a
an
military?
aptitude test.
Did you
It's what
take
you'll
it?
be good at.
What you
It's
got?
it's
It just tells you
Yeah, that
what you
really
would be good at.
determines whether or not they want you.
Mine, told me that I would be a good, math teacher, bus driver, airplane navigator,
Bus driver.
and then there's some.
That's literally gonna be
How
mine.
do you be a good bus driver? Like, what is?
Alright, let's go ahead and close our Chromebooks, please.
You know, with stone.
Okay, so Friday you took notes over 7.1, and as I mentioned on Friday, on these notes, it was really important that you listen to them or read the subtitles, because there's no actual math here, and it's not every single problem's the same. You're given a problem, and then you have to use what you know to say yes or no, these triangles are congruent. And the only two theorems we talked about was side, 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 and side, angle, side. Side, side, side means that in order for two triangles to be congruent, all three sides have to be congruent. So for instance, in this triangle and this triangle, if it has these set of sides marked, these, and these, then I can say that they're congruent. Okay? If it only has two sides, then I cannot say they're congruent. It has to have all three sides marked congruent. And the only way that you can mark a side congruent that's not already congruent is if it looks like this. I can say that these two, if I have your attention, please, you should be looking up here. I can still say that these two triangles are congruent, even though only two sets of sides are marked, because they share a side. And so you would say that this third side, let's say it's AB, you would say that AB is congruent to AB by reflexive property. Okay, so that's the only time you can mark a side congruent that's not already congruent. Or if it said specifically like this side's 2 and this side's 2. If it gives you the measures and they're the same, then you can mark them. But that's one way. So if all three sides are marked congruent, you can say, yes, these triangles are congruent by side, side, side. The other one we did was side, angle, side, and it's two sides and their included angle. Their included angle is where the two sides come together. So for instance, let's say this side and this side's marked, and those two sides. So I have those two sides. And then their included angle would be this angle and that angle. So you got side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. If that's marked, I can show those two triangles congruent. Something that would not work This right here does not work because the included angle would be this angle. This angle would be the one that needed to be marked. This one doesn't work because this is actually angle side side, angle side side, and if it spells backward, you can't use it. Okay. So you would have to have this angle marked. You would, let's say this was B and D, you would say, no, these triangles are not congruent. In order to be congruent, I would need B and D marked congruent. Okay. If it showed you this, and it asked, are these two triangles congruent? You would say, no, there's not enough information. And you could say that in order to use side, 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 you would need these two sides to be marked congruent. If you wanted to use side, angle, side, you would need these two angles marked congruent. Okay. All right. Let's put that down for a moment and pay attention. That way you're not lost in the assignment. All right, for today's assignment, it says, state if the two triangles are congruent. So first you're going to say yes or no, they're congruent. And if they are, you're going to state how you know. So you're going to say either by side, 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 or side, angle, side, if they're congruent. Okay. And on the back, and it said, or if there's not enough information, just put NEI for not enough information. Then number on the back, it says, state what additional information is required in order to know that the triangles are congruent for the reason given. So number 11 says side, angle, side. Okay, and let me show you this. Okay, let's say these two sides are marked and these two sides are marked, and it's asking me, are they congruent? Well, it doesn't have an angle marked. However, well, these two sides aren't marked, so I can't say that.
Oh, wait, no. But could you use the side angle side though?
Why are these two angles congruent?
Because they're vertical angles.
Or vertical?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have vertical angles, you can mark them congruent. If there's alternate interior angles, you can mark them congruent. Corresponding angles, which I don't think you'll really have those. Usually you'll just have vertical angles or alternate interior, and you only have alternate interior when there's parallel lines. All right, so you're going to use your notes to complete this assignment. It's individual, on your own. If you don't finish, it's homework, and it'll be due at the beginning of class tomorrow. And as I mentioned on the notes, it's really good if you have a highlighter, colored pencils, colored pens to highlight the sides that correspond to each other. To me, it makes it a lot easier to see if you would use side, 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 or side, angle, side, or if there's enough information. And I have markers and colored pencils up here if you want to use them. If there's not enough information marked, the first thing I would do is look to see if you can mark anything. You want to look for a side that they share that you can mark. You want to look for vertical angles that you can mark. Alternate interior angles, but that's only when you got parallel lines. See if there's anything you can mark that's not marked already.
I don't like this one.
Like, am I able to mark this? Like, I would think.
The only time you can mark a side congruent is if it's the same side. So like this side and this side are not the same side, so you can't mark it. That would be, so you can mark that. Okay, so it looks like the only thing you can mark. So now, can you prove that congruent? Would that represent either side, 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 or side, angle, side? Side, side, side means you have all three sides marked. You have all three sides marked.
Oh, no.
Side, angle, side means you have two sides and their included angle.
Oh, then
I'm pretty sure you have notes.
Yeah, that's why I passed out those copies and asked for anybody else that did not have it. There you go. You must have been busy.
I was going up.
I need help with Google. So number 2 is like the sides are congruent.
Well, it's got one pair of sides marked. Are you able to mark another pair?
You could do that there.
Okay. So is there anything else you can mark? The only time you can mark sides is if they share a side. The only time you can mark angles is if they're vertical angles or alternate interior. So do you have any of those?
No.
Okay. So now look, to use side, 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 you gotta have all 3 sides marked. Do you have all 3 sides? To use side, angle side, you gotta have 2 sides and their included angle.
So we have side and the side on this one, but not this one.
Okay, it has to be the same on both.
So no.
So if it's not, then you would put not enough information. Or NEI for not enough information. Now on the back page, they're telling you there's not enough information and they're asking you what other information you need.
What?
Well, if they share a side, then that means you can mark that side congruent. So do they share a side? They don't, no, sharing a side means they have a side that both of them includes. Like for instance, this one here. These 2 triangles here, let's say triangle ABC and ABD. So I'm talking about this triangle and the white triangle. They share a side. They share this side right here, like they're touching. That's sharing a side.
I don't understand this.
Now, if they share, no, that's not always. If they share a side, that just means you can mark that side congruent to itself. So if you look at this picture here, do they share a side?
I'm not sure.
And I would use 2 marks. There you go.
I just don't feel like, and then so I guess we could have an angle and then 2 different sides, like side angle side.
Only if the angle's in between the 2 sides. So look at this triangle, is the angle between the 2 sides. Okay, and where the, well, this is an angle and this is an angle, it's 2 different angles. Okay, now look at this angle, is it between the 2 sides? Like where the 2 sides come together?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that would be side angle side. And then look at this one. You got, okay, well, is this angle included between the 2 sides? Okay, now look at this triangle. Is that angle that's marked between the 2 sides? It's where the 2 sides come together. Show me where these 2 sides come together. Yeah, show me where they come, show me where this side and this side come together. Now, you see this side? And you see this side? Whenever they intersect, where's that angle at? What angle's between there? Well, it can't be this one because that's outside. You're looking at, here's what I would do. This side and this side. What angle did you just make? Or what angle did I just make when I traced those? Okay. An angle has 2 sides. This is an angle. You gotta have one side on the right and one side on the left and the angles between the 2 rays. So if I drew my angle this way, where's my angle at? It's right here. Okay, so if I draw this, where's my angle at? Okay, so what you're doing, okay, here, let me go it out here. You're saying my angle is all of this. Is that right?
No, it's like some
Yeah,
day,
it's-
some day.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. You're saying it's this angle and that angle. So you're telling me that this angle would be considered there? An angle is where 2 lines meet, and it's on inside those 2 lines. Here's your 2 lines. This line and this line. Where would that angle be? Only right here in the middle.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it wouldn't be this angle up here. This angle is made by this side and that side. Okay, so this included angle would be right there, not right there. So could you use side angle side here? So you can only use it if that angle is marked congruent to this angle. Is this angle marked congruent to that angle? No, so you can't say they're congruent because this is not side angle side. This is angle side side. So you have angle side side. Would you be allowed to say that?
Like in school, can you say that? Is that a word? Yeah, can you say that? No. No, so that tells you you can't use it. Wait, that's not a thing? No, it's only side, angle side. The angle has to be between the two sides. See how here's 1 and 3, 1 and 3? Their included angle is where they come together, right here. 1 and 3 is where they come together, here. So it has to be included. For instance, here, the two sides marked are here and here, and here and here. Their included angle is there. Okay. Do you have colored pencils or markers or pens? And I would use like 2 or 3 different colors. So what I would do is see the two sides that are marked congruent, color those like one color, and then color the other one a different color, which is the same side. And then if it's angles, if it's an included angle, it's going to be where those two come together. So these two come together here, and these come together here. Well, this angle's marked, but is this angle marked? No, so you couldn't use side angle side. Now look at this one. You've got 3 and 3. And then 2 and 2. Now this angle is in between the two sides. Is this angle between the two sides? Okay, between the two sides means where they meet. So like this, see how this angle has a green on one side and red on the other? This angle should have green on one side, red on the other, does it? No, so you would be able to use side angle side. I guess is that just really not conjunction? Yeah, that would be not enough information, or it would be I, like, right here. See, this one wasn't congruent because the angle's not included. In order to use side angle side, we would have needed to have this angle and this angle marked congruent in order to use side angle side.
I'm done. Thank you. I need you to put it in words, like write in words what you would need.
Oh.
Yeah, put in words what you would need marked.
So like,
Like
need
you
a
would
line there and angle there.
need, well, you would need to say, this side should be marked congruent to this side in order to use side angle side. Now, if two angles are vertical, that means they're already congruent, so you wouldn't need to have them marked because you could mark them by them vertical. So like here, like these two angles, how you mark them congruent, you wouldn't need them to state that they're congruent because we already know from previous chapters that vertical angles are congruent, so we're allowed to just mark them. We don't have to actually go through and have it told to us.
So if we did put that, we just say what now?
Like this? Yep, that's all you would need.
Oh. Wait.
See, like
you
these-
said what?
Like, you wouldn't need these two angles marked, like, you can mark them, but because you're allowed to mark them without them being marked already, you don't have to have that additional information. So you already have a side and a set of angles that's congruent. In order to use side angle side, what other piece of information do you need? Like, what's missing? You have side angle, what's the last thing you need?
The other side?
The other side. Now, you just gotta figure out what two sides need to be marked. So in order for it to be, okay, so if you mark this one and this one, that would actually be angle side side, not side angle side. And you can't use angle side side because that's a bad word. So where does that other side need to be? Remember side angle side, the angles needs to be between the two sides. So the angle that's marked, what two sides is it between?
King and I and, you know?
So you would need to have those marks congruent.
If two sides are already marked and it's side, like, the,
Side, side, side.
yeah. Can you just go ahead and mark the other one because it gives it to you? Like one's the side by side, these two are marked.
These two are already marked, so
I just
what
wanted to-
other ones would need to be marked in order, what did you have to mark congruent in order to make it side, side, side? Okay, so you would need to say,
Just like that?
you would need to have those marked in order for it to be marked, in order for them to be congruent. Alright, you've got about 3 minutes before class is over, so if you wanna go ahead and get your stuff ready. Don't forget to get your test reflection signed and brought back tomorrow, and make sure you bring your worksheet back tomorrow, completed at the beginning of class. Does anyone have any questions before you leave?
Wait, so this one, that's like,
Yeah, because you wouldn't need to have the vertical angles marked because they're already marked. Alright, you can put up your calculators and get your phones.
that's what I did.
Oh, I see what you're number.
That's not mine.
I don't know.
No, the only thing you need to do is complete chapter 6 review, I'll be done is now.
Alright.
Okay, then you all need to sign it, turn it in to me, so that way. Oh, yeah, I didn't sign it.
I stay up till 1 o'clock right now for getting rush hour for English. I'm gonna work on a little bit next hour and be like, I started it.
I'm watching it.
What?
I'm watching it.
Let's be honest.
Let me read it.
Let's be honest.
It's so boring.
Better than something like an essay with somebody you don't even know. Or a freaking poem or whatever it is you haven't even read.
I don't mind about the day first, you know, you can't cite another source, so you have to make